Okay, for number one, the ratio test in this one over here, let's take a look at it and write it down. So limit as n goes to infinity, the absolute value of an, and let me just point out what an again is, this over here. And if I, let's see, it's n plus 1, right? So it's going to be x n plus 1 over 2 to the n plus 1. And we're going to divide it by that term, or multiply by its reciprocal. Its reciprocal is 2 to the n over x to the n. Right, I need to do that limit. And, kind of look at it. It doesn't look that bad. I mean, certainly I get a half. The absolute value of the half is a half. I'll put that on the outside, 1/2. And then I get limit. N goes to infinity. Again, let me just remind you what I did over here. 2 to the n plus 1 is a half. Absolute value of half is a half, so I just pulled it out. Now I'm looking at this thing over here, and that's just simply the absolute value of x. And this should be less than 1. Now, looking at that, I want to point out the limit as n goes to infinity of the absolute value of x is just the absolute value of x. Well, what do you get there? The absolute value of x less than 2, which means x is between 2 and minus 2. What's the radius over there? Well, if you look at this over here, the length of the intervals is 4 units. Half of that is going to be 2. So we say the radius of convergence in that one over there is 2. Now, let me just go through the interval, though. And they didn't ask the question, but I think we should start talking about that. And what you got to do over here, if you want to look at the interval of convergence, is you're going to need to look at the endpoints. Let's just do one at a time. So if I have 2, if x is equal to 2, that's the endpoint. What does this thing look like over here? Well, let's write it down. What are you going to get? The sum, n equals 0 to infinity. You would get, if x is 2, you get 2 to the n over 2 to the n, which is 1, which is clearly divergent. I can't include that. Let's do the minus 2. What do you get over there? N equals 0 to infinity. This is a little more complicated, but I want to point out, if you look at that, it's minus 2 to the n over 2 to the n, which is going to give you, minus 1 to the n. This is also divergent. So the interval in this one over here, and again, they did not ask for that, is between minus 2 and 2. They asked for this. Look at the answer key. They should be indicating that over there. Thank you.